Hi, fifth grade. Thanks for joining me again. We're working on lesson 96 of math. You need your math book. You need something to write with. You need to have read the lesson explanation on Jupiter and the entire lesson. Our lesson starts on page 499. We are using reciprocals to divide fractions. So we've discussed the steps for dividing fractions, but we're going to go over them again. When we divide fractions, we leave our first fraction the same. We change our division to multiplication, and we invert the second fraction. So we use the reciprocal of the second fraction. We then solve the multiplication problem, and the product is the solution for our division problem. So we're going to practice. On page 501, we have our practice, and we're going to start dividing some fractions using our reciprocals. So our first problem is 1/3 divided by 1/2. I leave 1/3 the same, 1/3. I change division to multiplication, and I use the reciprocal of my second fraction. So my problem becomes 1/3 times 2/1. Right? I proceed with my multiplication, and I get the product 2/3. So 1/3 divided by 1/2 is 2/3. See? My second problem, B, is 2/3 divided by 3/4. So 2/3 stays the same. My first fraction remains. My division becomes multiplication. 3/4, I want to use the reciprocal, 4/3. My new equation is 2/3 times 4/3, which gives me the fraction 8/9. So 2/3 divided by 3/4 equals 8/9. C asks me 2/3 divided by 1/4. My first fraction, 2/3, remains the same. My division becomes multiplication. My second fraction, I use the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 1/4 is 4/1. My new equation is 2/3 times 4/1. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 1 is 3. So I get the fraction 8/3. I want to simplify this into a mixed number with a proper fraction. And so what I get is 2 and 2/3. Problem D is asking me 1/2 divided by 1/3. 1/2, my first fraction, is going to remain the same. My division becomes multiplication, and 1/3, I'm going to use the reciprocal of my second fraction, 3/1. My new equation is 1/2 times 3/1. 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 1 is 2. So my product is the improper fraction 3/2, 3/2. For my final solution, final answer, I'm going to change this to a mixed number with a proper fraction, 1 and 1/2. Problem E is asking 3/4 divided by 2/3. My first fraction, 3/4, remains the same. My division becomes multiplication. My second fraction, I want to use the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2. My new equation is 3/4 times 3/2. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 2 is 8. And my product is the improper fraction 9/8. For my final product, or final quotient really, because then it's a division answer, I'm going to change this to the mixed number with the proper fraction, 1 and 1/8. Question F is 3 divided by 3/4. And you can see I jumped the gun making my 3 into the fraction. The whole number 3 is the fraction 3 over 1. My division becomes multiplication. My second fraction, I use the reciprocal. 3/4, the reciprocal is 4/3. So my new equation is 3 over 1 times 4 over 3. 3 times 4 is 12. 1 times 3 is 3. And my product is 12 over 3. This 12 over 3, expressed as a proper number, because it's not a fraction, is going to be the whole number 4. Question G is asking 2 divided by 1/3. So my first number is the whole number 2, which is the same as the fraction 2 over 1. My division symbol becomes multiplication. 1/3, we're going to use the reciprocal, 3 over 1. Right, so now I have 2 over 1 times 3 over 1. 2 times 3 is 6, 1 times 1 is 1, and now I have the improper fraction 6 over 1. This, simplified, is the whole number 6. So 2 divided by 1/3 equals 6. H is asking me 3 divided by 2/3. 3, the whole number, is going to be expressed as the fraction 3 over 1. My division becomes multiplication. My second fraction, 2/3, I'm going to use the reciprocal, 3/2. And now I have the equation 3 over 1 times 3 over 2. 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 2 is 2. I get the improper fraction 9/2. I'm going to simplify this, and I'm going to arrive at 4 and 1/2. I is asking 10 divided by 5/6. 10, the whole number, is expressed as the fraction 10 over 1. My division becomes multiplication. And my second fraction, 5/6, I'm going to use the reciprocal, which is 6/5. And now I have the equation 10 over 1 times 6 over 5. 10 times 6 is 60. 1 times 5 is 5. My product is the improper fraction 60/5. In order to simplify this, I'm going to divide. 60 divided by 5 is 12. So 10 divided by 5/6 is 12. Question J asks me how many 1/3 are in 3/4. This sounds a little confusing when it's asked as a word problem in that way, but the equation that it's asking for is 3/4 divided by 1/3. That's the equation that it's asking for. So, in order to solve this, 3/4 remains the same. My division becomes multiplication. And my second fraction, 1/3, I'm going to use the reciprocal, which is 3 over 1. When I then multiply, I get 9 over 4. 9 over 4 simplifies to 2 and 1/4. K is asking me how much of 3/4 is in 1/3. So this is asking me what is 1/3 divided by 3/4. So this is going to be my first equation. 1/3 remains the same. My division becomes multiplication. And my second fraction, 3/4, I'm going to use the reciprocal, 4/3. Then I have the equation, 1/3 times 4/3. 1 times 4 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, and my product is 4/9. These two problems, J and K, I hope that you can see this, are showing that even though when we divide fractions, we change our equation into a multiplication equation, it is still division, and it is not commutative the same way that multiplication is. The order of the fractions matters, and it matters very much that you only use the reciprocal of the second fraction. So you can see 3/4 divided by 1/3 gives me 2 1/4. 1/3 divided by 3/4, same fractions, different order, gives me 4/9, different answer. Okay, so that's what that's trying to show you. So that is our practice for dividing fractions using the reciprocal. So I hope this has been helpful, and have a great time with your lesson, guys. I'll see you here for more math later on. Bye.